They told you not to worry. That privacy is just a buzzword, that your identity is safe enough. But tonight, you'll learn that your digital self is an asset on someone else's balance sheet, and three powerful forces are working together behind closed doors to profit from it. Hedge funds, AI startups, government agencies. The alliance is real. The story has been buried. And the worst part? You gave them permission. Welcome to Cybercrime Exposed Files. And if this is your first time here, I suggest you watch until the end. Not to protect your phone, but to protect your future self. You ever wonder why certain ads seem to know you better than your friends? Or why you get pre-approved for loans you never asked for, just days after installing a new app? What you're experiencing isn't coincidence. It's extraction. See, most people think data is just a byproduct of being online. But to those who understand its power, hedge funds and machine learning firms especially, your data isn't exhaust. It's fuel, and they're stockpiling it. The system works beautifully. You browse a news site. You accept cookies. You install a budgeting app. You share a vacation photo. In the background, a behavioral profile is stitched together in real time. Thousands of microdata points feed predictive models that hedge funds pay millions to access, either directly or through third-party brokers. But it's anonymous, right? That's the illusion. Let me explain how the reverse identification loop works. AI startups train massive models on public and purchased datasets. These models can now de-anonymize data with astonishing precision, connecting disparate dots into something dangerously human. You, not a user ID, not a cluster. You. Now here's where it gets darker. Once your identity is mapped and your patterns are predicted, hedge funds start to place bets, literal market positions, based on what you and people like you are likely to do. They buy ad space seconds before your attention drifts. They go long on trends you haven't even posted about yet. They treat your life decisions as forecastable signals. And then governments step in, not to stop it, but to quietly join the game. Through public-private partnerships, intelligence agencies and regulators begin licensing AI platforms originally meant for marketing and portfolio optimization. Why? Because the same tools that predict which brand of coffee you'll try next can also predict when a population might protest or when an individual might donate to a political cause. It's all tied together. One AI startup even pitched its services to both hedge funds and a government security agency in the same quarter. They're offering behavioral signal analysis at scale. Their promise? Real-time population sentiment analysis. Their selling point? We already have the data. Nobody asked your permission. And yet here you are. A product, a prediction, a pawn. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The real danger isn't that you're being watched. It's that you're being used. Used to train algorithms that you'll never benefit from. Used to refine investment strategies that price you out of your own housing market. Used to push political messages you don't even realize have been tailored for your fears. And maybe the most terrifying part? This triangle, hedge funds, AI firms, governments, operates without legal boundaries. Why? Because data regulation always lags behind innovation. And when the innovation is invisible, accountability evaporates. Some of you might still think this sounds exaggerated. So, let me tell you what happened to Nora. Nora was a 42-year-old pharmacist. She never posted on social media. She paid in cash whenever she could. She avoided loyalty programs. But her phone gave her away. A discount health tracking app she installed to monitor her steps quietly sold her mobility data to a data broker. That data, when paired with location trends and purchase habits, was enough to build a profile. 2 months later, she received targeted offers for disability insurance and mobility scooters before a diagnosis even came in. Nora was being profiled before she was even aware of the problem. How did the hedge fund behind the ad platform profit? Easy. They took a position in health tech equities right before launching the campaign. Public data predicted her future, and they turned that prediction into profit. You might think, well, I'm nobody important. And that's exactly what they want you to believe. The less valuable you think you are, the easier it is to extract everything that makes you you, quietly, consistently, profitably. Now, I'm not here to tell you to delete every app or smash your router. That's what they expect you to do. React emotionally, retreat, and give up. But what if I told you that the best defense is distortion? Because if they're building models off your patterns, what happens when your patterns become unpredictable? That's right. You don't disappear. You become noise. Here's where it gets clever. Start introducing false positives into the system. Subscribe to newsletters you'll never read. Search for products you'd never buy. Switch your phone's language setting. Create digital behaviors that don't align. Confuse the algorithmic narrative. This isn't paranoia. It's asymmetrical resistance. In fact, some cybersecurity experts now recommend what they call data camouflage. Instead of just blocking trackers, overwhelm them with trash signals. Create a digital version of yourself that's chaotic, misaligned, and deeply unprofitable. Think of it like this. If your digital twin is a market signal, then camouflage is sabotage. And if you think sabotage sounds extreme, ask yourself this. When did consent become something you gave up at login? You wouldn't hand over your passport at a casino table. So, why surrender your behavioral DNA to a hedge fund? Let me bring you back into the alliance. The AI startups behind these tools aren't run by villains in dark rooms. They're led by 28-year-old engineers with massive funding rounds and TED Talks about ethical optimization. But the second they take investment from hedge funds, priorities shift. They're not optimizing to make your life easier. They're optimizing to predict you more precisely. And when a government agency partners with them, they repackage that same model under the banner of public safety. You are never asked if you want to be part of the model. Your existence is assumed. And every time you connect a smart device, opt into terms and conditions, or simply walk through a public space with Wi-Fi enabled, you contribute another line of training data. You are training your replacements. And they don't need you to know that, because the most effective form of surveillance is the one that looks like convenience. Now, if you've made it this far, you're not the average viewer. You're not going to scroll past this and go back to your feed. You're here because something inside you recognizes the pattern. You're here because you want to understand, not just fear. So here's what you can actually do. Audit your data exhaust. Every app, every account, every permission setting. Review them like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. Opt out of major data broker databases. Yes, it takes time, but time is cheaper than identity theft. Use tools that scramble browser fingerprints and location identifiers. And most importantly, understand that you are not powerless. These systems feed on apathy. They thrive when you shrug and say, it's too late. It's not, because if they're using reverse psychology, selling you privacy by invading it, then maybe it's time we use reverse psychology too. Pretend you don't care. Make them think you're irrelevant. Feed them garbage until their predictions fall apart. Then quietly reclaim control. Before I go, ask yourself one question. If your identity has already been turned into a product, who's profiting the most? Let me know what you find. Drop a comment below. Have you tried any camouflage techniques? What surprised you the most in this video? The more we share, the less they can predict. And if this opened your eyes even a little, hit the like button, not for the algorithm, for awareness, for resistance, and subscribe. Because next week, we're diving deeper into how entire neighborhoods are being classified, priced, and manipulated based on AI signals you'll never see. This was Cybercrime Exposed Files. You weren't supposed to know any of this, but now you do. What you do next is up to you.